Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm back after a short break. You're watching Comic Book Black Belt, and this is an art stream for my latest book, Only Death Can Save Us Book 2, which I'm pleased to say had a rather good campaign over on Indiegogo and was funded fully and is now in demand. All the links are in the usual places. Hello, Devil Flyer. Lovely to see you. Thank you for dropping by. So I've had a rotten cold for the last couple of weeks, which is why I haven't been streaming the live art stream. But I have been working still. A couple of days I had to take off because I was just feeling so rubbish. But the rest of the time I struggled through. I've got an absolute bundle of work. A lot of it I can't talk about, unfortunately. But I can talk about what I'm doing with Only Death Can Save Us. So tonight I'll be just doing some digital pencils. I'm out to the last couple of pages on part 2 of the book, which will then go off to scripting at the end of the week because it's literally a few pages I'll get done in the next couple of days or so. It'll go off to Rick for scripting and then off to Eric for lettering after that, probably the end of next week or the start of the following, just before Christmas. I'll be inking once I get the scripting back. I'll be inking, and then the inks will go off probably after Christmas, early January, for Ichthy to colour. So here we are. So as you can see, there's a couple of pages I've got planned out. So what I'll do is I'll just knock this back and start planning out in a little bit more detail. So I've done the, for all intents and purposes, it's like a thumbnail. So I just have to get into getting the characters sketched in. So I'll sketch those guys in. You can see some of the process that I use. So in the 2 weeks that I've not been streaming, the world has gone completely insane. As if it wasn't already insane, of course, but you know what I mean. Completely bonkers. There you go. But if anybody from YouTube is listening or watching, or the algorithm or whatever, the music behind me is all royalty free, so don't even bother hitting the button. And a little bit of house cleaning, I suppose you could call it. A little bit of tidying up, just to if anybody's watching on the replay, or if you join in the chat. Anybody who backed the book, thank you so much for backing the book. Things are on course for it to be even better than the last book. I'm really pleased with the story, the way things are going. So it's all good. It's all good. I'll show off a couple of finished pencil pages at the end once I'm done. There was a particular page that I was going to show sort of over a series of a couple of weeks on the live stream, but I just had to get on and do it, unfortunately, while I was ill. Just get on and finish the job, as it were. So I'll bring that up at the end. So you can see what I do is just rough out the rough lines of the anatomy, where the characters are going to be positioned. Using a kind of an isometric angle on this, so his legs look a little bit long. because his death proportionally has got a bigger top half. It's not that he scrimps on the leg day. He doesn't. He's got very muscular legs. He's just bigger up top. There you go. It's better. That's the advantage of digital penciling. Is that I don't have to take a photocopy of something that I really like or rub it out or whatever. I can just resize it. So, something else I've decided to do is D is reformatted at the end of the first part, and he's now using his hood, which I kind of like. I think it's kind of cool. There was no reason for it in the first one, but I think it works well in the second one. So he's talking with Chrissy here after a rescue. So some action went on earlier on in this part. It's actually part of the page that I was talking about. I'll show later. Part of the action there. It's a bit loud. Don't make that loud. So this is quite useful for positioning as well. Oh, thank you very much. Can't wait for the books to be in people's hands. So it's a moment of softness here, just where Dee's got a little bit upset with the situation, and his friend Chrissy is comforting him. That's where they regroup and move on to the next part of the story. So I'm kind of, letting people in on this part of the production. I'm terrible at doing stuff at conventions and what have you. I just don't like people watching me draw. And as with most artists, I'm never fully confident with what I'm doing. You talk to most comic book artists, and the last thing you did was the most fantastic thing you've ever done, and then within 10 minutes you're thinking, oh no, it's not very good, I don't want to show anyone. That's just the nature of us as comic book artists. And it's the same with kind of doing things at conventions. It's not something I'd choose to do, although I have done it and do it on occasion. And people seem to be pleased with the results, but it's like, anyway, it's that showing that aspect, showing the imperfect nature of the build up of producing your artwork. This isn't a finished piece, so normally I wouldn't want to show it to anyone. I'd not be showing my my workings out, my sketches. But I've started to learn that that's okay, and that people do actually want to see how these things are put together for multiple different reasons. So sometimes it's just genuine interest, to see how you come up with the stuff you come up with. Other times it's people who want to do it themselves and want to see how you do it. But actually, it's very important to see the mistakes. I think I've started to realise that, and it's very helpful to other people, because whenever I've seen artwork and seen people, artists explain how they got to a particular point and why they got there and how they erred on the way, it's that much more useful as an artist to hear that and to see those errors. So just, I suppose, showing the sketching process, showing the breaking down of what I do, if it's of any help to anyone, then that's a good thing. I don't put any of the videos up on my channel, and well, there are a few that have tutorial in them, but I really don't like using that word, because so many artists have their own ways of doing things, and there is no real right or wrong, especially in comic books, because it's about style. I think there are some objective rules, as in you have to understand anatomy and scene creation, angles, dynamics, energy, weight, body language. You have to understand these things, at least to a reasonable degree. That doesn't mean you need to draw super realistically. It just means you need to understand them in order to help you create comic books and stories and sequential art in general. But people, artists do have their own ways of doing things, and that's why I'm loath to use the word tutorial. It's just, here's the way I do it. If it's of use to you as another artist, then superb, brilliant. I'm glad. Don't think I necessarily want to. I think I want that shoulder. So there you go. Like, I've just sketched that body out, and I'm going to rub it all out because I don't think it actually fits what I'm wanting to do. I want him to turn more, so I don't want to see as much of the front of him as I'd drawn. So there's more of the back. He's crouching over more, and he's looking round back at Chrissy more. So I'll thin that out. So it's that thing there that I've just shown there that it took me a long time to appreciate. That it's not a failing. It's showing how things are. How you come to a final solution for a particular piece of art. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we're not a confident breed, and it takes time and experience to understand these things. I certainly, I'm still learning all the time, but when I came back to comic books 11 years ago now, I was incredibly naive about the whole thing, and have learned a huge amount in the time since, and not just about drawing, but about all kinds of things, about myself, about what I want out of comic books, about what really floats my boat. The fact that I'm more interested in telling all ages stories, fun, action orientated stories. That's what I'm after doing. I've done a bit of horror and other bits and pieces, and it just doesn't interest me. I like weird stuff. I like weird stories, but it's I want to communicate with as wide an audience as possible. So he's getting upset here, smashing some of the technology that's around. Once you read the story, you'll understand what's going on. He's just taking a side swipe here. Lashing out, as it were. Just oops. Don't think that, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work as a strike line. I think it's got to come from there. So that's where the energy is. Smoosh. So that'll be like probably smash a screen. Some other stuff up there. And just do the rest of the energy with strike lines. Oh, right, okay. Some more people. Hello, Imagine. Thank you very much for turning up. Hi, Darren. Tell the telling you want. Yes. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Exactly, yes. thank you very much. Thank you. That would be lovely. Tell the tale you want to tell. Exactly. Yeah. That's what's going on right at the moment. There's just comics are just opening up, and I love that. I love the fact that so many people can just get out there and make the comics they want to make if they can't find them in a comic shop or in a library or wherever. Just get out there and do your own thing. So no, it doesn't work. So, like I was saying, I'm just sort of laying down the rough anatomy for this. There's a close-up of D up here. Get a bigger pen on this. He's not a happy bunny. So I can't get too much in the way of emotion in Dee's face because obviously he's a skull. But you can bring it into with the eyes and with a furrowed brow, so you can do that kind of stuff, and it can bring a surprising amount of emotion or emoting, should I say, to what you'd consider to be quite a static face. Okay. It's the neck band. So he's pretty peeved. If I now so over the top of that, I want to make sure I get Chrissy. So she's calming him down. She's just got her hand on his arm there. It's probably a bit big. So you can tell I'm concentrating a little bit more. That's why I've gone quiet. So what I do here is I put a general sort of figure in, which usually needs a little bit of work to it to get it right. But it's in the right position, the right place for what I want it to do for the scene. And then when I'm ready to get that right, I'll flip the whole thing over. So what you used to have to do when you're drawing on a light box or a board or whatever is, get quite a way into the drawing and then go take it to a mirror or something, and see how it worked. So you take almost the finished thing and then look at it in the mirror, and you could pick stuff out by seeing it the wrong way around. But now, instead of having to wait until I've put a huge amount of work into it, I can get the sketch to where I want it to be, and then flip that like I'm looking at it in the mirror, and it saves time. Saves quite a bit of time. Right. Just down. So what I wanted to do is create a foreground effect here. So there's like machinery in the foreground. There's a thicker pencil. So what that does is it creates depth by you looking through the machinery towards D there. And it's kind of, there's a similar angle to that bottom left hand panel, so it also gives it the ability to have a similar angle and not look the same. because you're always looking for interesting angles and ways of telling the story. But the most important thing is getting the story across. And if that means you have to use a similar angle twice on a page, then so be it. But you want to find ways of making it so that it's not quite so obvious, so that it makes it visually interesting. Literally visually interesting, not just the story element, the sequential art element. You don't. The art should not be placed ahead of the story in any way, but at the same time, you still want to have a page that is instantly appealing, and wants to make you, the reader, go further. So you're always effectively producing a balancing act. So that's roughly right. So if I get rid of that, I flip that now, I can see maybe where the issues are. I mean, for the most part, it's mostly in the right places. I don't need to worry about the close up on D, and just get some of this anatomy sorted out on the other panels. I'll just come back in and say hi to everyone. How do you think comics is opening up? Just with the fact that you can now go to platforms like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and get yourself seen. When I came back to comics in 2010, I was expecting to do much as I'd done in the mid-90s and go and submit to Marvel. But even by then, the submission process had gone because the internet was so open and there were just so many people going to Marvel to submit. So I looked around at the other places that were submitting and they were non-existent. It was very difficult to submit in the way that I'd submitted in the mid-90s. And at that time, I submitted to DC, to Image, Dark Horse, and to Marvel. And I got good responses from Marvel and DC, Marvel and Image. And actually, the new talent manager at Marvel put me on the books, although I never got any work out of it. But that's another story. So I got good responses then, and so I felt like, oh right, okay, I can come back at this and give it another crack. And there was just no way in, and the market, the environment, should I say, has completely opened up in those 10 years. Completely opened up. Rather than looking for people to pay you to do a page for them, you can just get on and do your own thing. And if it's enticing enough, you have a good enough idea, if you can connect with enough people, enough potential audience, you can generate the funds to make the book happen. So that's what I'm talking about when I mean opening up. And because of that, because of the way that things have changed, I just think the market itself, the environment for making comics is constantly changing at the moment. It's constantly on the change. And whenever there is change, there are opportunities. So there you go. Ichthy. Hello, hello, hello. This is the man that will be colouring the rest of the book for me. Looking forward to seeing that. I saw your samples. From what I could tell, they were flats, or at least one of them was a flat. So not quite sure. We can talk. but in general, good. But I don't want to be saying too much here. It's a conversation for us to have. But all good, all good. Looking forward to seeing it done. Right. So let's get on with this. I've got another 20 minutes or so. I think there's some work going on outside my house. I know there's a broken manhole cover, so maybe they're fixing that. God, what a noise it's making. I think I don't like that. I think what I'll do is I'll have him holding on to the side of that panel, which is a bit more. Then what I can do is have another panel in there, increase the depth. Okay. That works, I like that. It's got big buckles. I like big buckles. Ridiculously large belt buckles. They're great fun to draw. And there are some pretty ridiculous choices for costumes and looks, character design in this book, and that's on purpose. Because I wanted it to be ridiculous and fun. I wasn't looking to try and make a costume look sensible. I don't want to see the seams. It's definitely sort of a Jim Starlin-esque Bronze Age Marvel ridiculous story that has some elements to it. Not that it takes itself seriously. I don't mean that, but like it has. So I use that word in the original marketing, pathos. It has some pathos to it. It's like it's a hero's journey, and there's repercussions for the characters if they don't get it right. but at the same time, they're doing it in spandex. I mean, Chrissy's doing it in a in a very lightweight costume, which she does make a note of saying something about. That's the other thing I wanted in here. I wanted some tongue-in-cheek humour, and Rick did a great job on the scripts on that last time, and he's doing it this time as well. Very pleased with the way the script has gone so far. Let's put the big side. So we've got about 10 minutes left. Get that image out in a sec. Show you what I've been up to. It's a bit long, I think. Right. Bye. Yo, Sim. How you doing? Right, so I'll just get this right, and then I'll open up that other piece, show you where it got to. That's me getting quiet again. Sorry, guys. I'm not very good at doing two things at once. There we go. Smash Rooney. ellipse right. I'll rub it out once I've got there, but it's about right. So I was wondering if I needed to reduce the size of his face on here, but it looks okay. Not a happy bunny here. That about fits. So, okay. That's working. So I'll save that there. I'll get back to that tomorrow. Once I finish, so I give the same treatment to those other two panels below. So the whole thing take me about an hour and a half to finish out that. So finished pencils will easily be done within a couple of hours. So normally a page will take me somewhere between 2 and 5 hours, depending on the content, number of characters, that kind of stuff. But I can normally quite happily get two pencil pages, fully penciled pages done a day. That would be similar in standard to this. So this is the page I was talking about. I had it up 2 weeks ago, but then it was just it was actually pretty much like this stage. I'd done a thumbnail sort of light sketch for it, and then on the stream that night, I just went over and made sure that all the anatomy and positioning was correct. And then I went ahead and finished off the pencils on this last week. And actually, this is an homage to a Thor page where Hercules had given Thor a bit of a thump, and I've actually nicked the sound effect because I wanted it as part of the page. I don't think that's a problem, just nicking the sound effect. But this is a complete homage to that page. So John Buscema is my favourite artist. So, and I just love that run on Thor. Fantastic stuff. So if I just I might be able to show you the page that precedes the one I was just producing. So there you go. So that's the standard pencils, and then from there I'll print the thing out blue line and I'll ink it with a brush, and that's how the pages get put together. So that's that, I think, for this stream. I will probably next week thank you, Sim. That means a lot coming from yourself, knowing just how damn good you are. Hey, imagine if someone. Hello, Jeremy. Thanks everybody for turning up, and Azaid, thank you for being here. yeah, thanks everybody for turning up. Thanks to those people that are watching this on the replay. Remember to give the channel a subscribe, everybody. If you could share it out, that would be great, because I could really do with the subscribers. I will start putting these into, once I get some time, I'll start putting these videos into sped up versions so that you can see the whole thing come together a little bit more self-contained when you want to watch the replays and see actually how the book is put together. Thanks to everybody who's turned up in the chat. Thanks to, once again, just a thank you to everybody who backed the book, or who had me on their stream, or reviewed the previous book, which I got great reviews from everyone. Thank you so much. Or just, shared, retweeted, whatever. Thank you to everyone. Can't tell you what it means for people to take so much time and effort to help, and to take notice and to enjoy the work that I'm doing. It means a lot. Yes, buddy. Yes. One day you will, and I will. So I think that's about it for me tonight. Thank you once again to everyone in the chat. Thank you for everybody who's been watching. Thank you. Share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you all next week, hopefully. If not, I'll see you around. Good night, Darren. See ya. Bye-bye.